usually a lingo, but it's not them.
She was homely.
Okay.
Mexico. So.
Chicken on this, okay.
Yeah.
That's silly.
You gotta look forward to something.
No. Whenever you're ready. Not that.
It's
Seven?
tight.
Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome to this, the first meeting of May of the Torrington City Council. Thank you all for being here. It's nice to see a good crowd of people here for the City Council meeting. Before I open the meeting, I want to thank Ryan and Grant Case from KGOS, KERM, who broadcast us live on 99.9 FM and 1490 AM. Also on the YouTube channel at KGOS Sports. Also thank Tyler Martineau here from the Torrington Telegram. Thank you guys for covering us. We'll declare this meeting to order, and the first order of business is the pledge. And Ted, would you lead us?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ted.
You're welcome. Anytime.
We have here tonight with us some of the staff and some of the volunteers from Goshen County Public Health. Thank you all for being here, and you are the reason that we're doing this tonight. If you would all come up and kind of stand up behind me, I'd appreciate it. Can't stay back there, you have to get up and move.
Yeah.
Look at all of them.
Yeah.
Kind of no idea,
Yay. Yeah, just saw you a little while ago.
no idea there were that many.
See you again. I'm fine so far.
Hide
She gave me a
behind you.
shot a while ago.
And again, thank you all for being here. I want to start this tonight by talking briefly about those people in our community, and there are a lot of them, who go out of their way to help others. These volunteers are involved in every aspect of life in our community. They are coaches, church leaders, people who walk and pick up trash along the way, downtown businesses who, in an effort to help their community, contribute to every cause that comes along, those that voluntarily serve on boards and commissions and are uncompensated in any way for their time and effort. There are many, many more that I've failed to mention whose contribution makes our community what it is. People volunteer knowing full well that others will do little or nothing to help their community. It's not an easy role to take on. Volunteering opens you up to criticism from others who do nothing but complain. When others say I'm too busy, or I'm too tired, or it's not my job, or someone else can do it, or they complain to their legislator, their councilman, their child's coach, their neighbor, and so on, volunteers assume the responsibility and do something worthwhile that makes our community better. Historically, we've honored those individuals in our community who gave up their free time to volunteer. Abe Correa was our first community hero for his work with the Torrington Little League program. Tom John McCurry for his willingness to help anyone and everyone. Rick and Marilyn Cotant for their work with the school's backpack program. Bud Watson for Gracie's Promise, benefiting children with special needs. Kyle Borger for his leadership in bringing Goshen help to our community. And most recently, Terry Shinost for her outstanding work at Wagon Tails Animal Shelter, protecting and caring for our pets and other creatures. This community award goes not only to volunteers, but also people who worked a full-time job that doubled and tripled in what they were asked and willingly did during a very difficult time. These people, for well over 2 years now, went above and beyond what was required of them and did what they're supposed to do and did it very well, without complaint and often in the face of unwarranted criticism. The thing about community heroes is that they never feel like they deserve the award. The mission of Goshen County Public Health is pretty simple. They are here to help to improve the health of the lives of the people in our community. And what stands out to me about these people is that all they ever wanted to do, all they've ever tried to do, and all they ever will continue to do is to help people. Goshen County Public Health has existed for years. Every county has a public health entity. They provide numerous services, pregnancy testing, support for pregnant mothers as they navigate difficult times. They do immunization clinics, flu shot clinics, STD and HIV testing, family health and parenting guidance to promote family stability, assist and advise people of all ages in regard to their health concerns, provide free blood pressure tests, cancer screenings, and a long, long list of other health services to the people of this community. By March of 2020, Torrington and Goshen County were at the mercy of COVID-19. That began Goshen County Public Health's continuing effort to protect this community. They advised us to mask up, wash our hands frequently, avoid touching our face, use sanitizer, avoid groups of people, and so on. And very soon we became aware of people that we knew who were dying of the disease. In the late spring of 2020, the city of Torrington was trying to decide if we should try to open the pool. The spread of COVID concerned us, and the revenues had fallen off the table. We weren't even sure that we could afford the $30,000 cost. City staff met, wrote a plan, took it to public health. We met with the county coordinator and her staff, revised the plan, and resubmitted it. It was then presented to the county health officer, Dr. Marion Smith, who, after another revision, passed it on to Dr. Harris, the state health officer. We eventually approved our plan with numerous restrictions on showers, bathrooms, and much attention to sanitizing the area throughout the day. With public health support and facing some criticism from the public, and even some from our own city council, we persisted. Believing that our community's kids needed the outlet that summer, we pressed forward. We had a shortened but a very successful pool season. Thank you to Goshen County Public Health. Fortunately, through all these troubling times, Goshen County Public Health was there. They provided daily and weekly updates, hosted Zoom meetings for public officials, advised us along the way, and explained as best they could the directives that were passed down to them. They were patient and made every effort to keep us safe, advised us about how to keep our employees safe, and spread that information throughout the county. Most recently, they've provided vaccination clinics and recently booster clinics, first at the Armory, and then when public health no longer had access to that space, to the Pony Express room here at City Hall. Those opportunities for people to get vaccinated and boosted continued through this day today. They've endured much criticism and endured it because all they wanted to ever do was to help people. The dedicated staff and their dedicated volunteers over the 2 years that we've been dealing with COVID have shown up every day, given up their vacations, worked long hours, provided services, answered questions, and yet continued in the face of negative attacks. They were called public enemy number one, received anonymous threats on the phone and via email. They were called all kinds of names, had their place of business vandalized. They were accused of lying and being hypocrites, and yet they endured. They continued even when our own Goshen County commissioners removed Dr. Marion Smith from her role as Goshen County Health Officer because she enforced the ordinances and the mandates. So even though difficult, stressful, and facing opposition, they continued and continue to this day. And the staff at Public Health wants everyone to know that even though it was and continues to be a challenging effort, they very much appreciate the support from the community. They received bouquets of flowers, people brought them food and drinks. Numerous times they received rolls, donuts, pizza, many, many thank you cards and notes of appreciation. The great majority of people of the community vocalized their support for Goshen County Public Health. And so tonight we have staff and volunteers here who, for over 2 years, have worked to keep us safe. Their service will continue. We hope and continually believe that maybe we have the worst of it behind us. Regardless, they will continue to fulfill their obligation to keep us safe. Once again, all they've ever wanted to do, all they've ever tried to do, and all that they will do in the future is to help people. We tonight present this Community Hero Award to the staff and volunteers of Goshen County Public Health. Thank you from the city of Torrington, from this community, and all those you've helped and who you will help in the future. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor Adams. This means a lot to us. As you know, 26 months overnight, 26 months ago overnight, all of our lives changed drastically. Although as public health we have trained for a pandemic, none of us could have imagined what we were about to face. During this time, we spent days, months, and now years battling with the unknowns, dealing with public opinions, and doing our best to keep the citizens of Goshen County safe and healthy. On December 23rd, 2020, we gave our first COVID vaccine and have given about 10,000 COVID vaccines to date. None of this would have been possible without our volunteers who have shown up for every clinic, many facing the elements and doing so with smiles on their face. Where's Bud, our outside guy all the time? There he is. Dr. Marion, who gave so much of her personal and professional time and medical expertise with this pandemic, and with her encouraging words, we will make it through this. Robin Boyd for her behind-the-scenes dedication to scheduling, contact tracing, and providing seamless transition to our clinics. The National Guard for letting us use the Armory and help us with our first mass COVID vaccination clinics, which were drive-throughs, if anyone remembers, freezing. The Police and Sheriff's Department, EMS, Eric Boyer, our county attorney, and Chief Johnson for all their support and standing behind us when we needed them. Shelley Kirschfer for all of her emergency management expertise and helping with press releases and ordering PPE, along with her many contributions there since the first day of the pandemic. The Goshen County School District and school nurses for working tirelessly to keep our kids safe. The Torrington Telegram and KGOS for helping us keep the public informed. Banner and Cowboy Clinics for their continued support and endless testing during this pandemic. And the citizens of Goshen County for their support, encouragement, and kind words, making this all worthwhile. So thank you, Mayor Adams and the city, for your continued support and encouragement that you have given us from the beginning, and allowing us to use the Pony Express room for our clinics, and for considering us for this award. Thank you.
There's probably, I don't know how many more around somewhere. And also we have families out there that we want to thank, you know, you gave up time and so on to these people so that they could do what they do. So thank you all for being here also. Other than that, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Did you, Kelly, you want a copy of that? Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there goes our crowd.
That was really nice.
You know, you don't all have to leave.
You know why they would.
That was well done.
Yeah, nice job.
That was,
Thank you.
Way to go.
Thank you. I enjoy doing those.
yeah.
I feel better after, so.
Yeah, we have, but that's. What a deserving group.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just jeez. What a deserving group.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll go ahead. I always enjoy doing those things. That makes me feel good, and I hope they feel good when they've had it and leave. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is Mayor's informational items. I have a few things tonight. Welcome to spring. We've just enjoyed some May showers, and a few days ago we heard some thunder. City of Torrington, as the last city council meeting, passed a much improved solid waste ordinance, which is now in effect. Because of this, the City of Torrington has a much better handle on those who continue to misuse our dumpsters. Please follow the City of Torrington ordinances as we move forward into the summer season. Streets and Sanitation Supervisor Ed Hawley informs me that spring cleanup goes from April 30th through May 14th. There's free dumping of your trash at the Baylor site, including Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is a good opportunity to take care of your spring trash. Call 532-4689 for more information. Buildings and Grounds Supervisor Dennis Estes tells me that there's been recent increase in vandalism at our parks. There are now cameras in all of our parks, and if you are identified as someone who vandalizes city property, you're going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Also a reminder that garage sale signs are not allowed on city utility poles. Your address is on the signs. You'll be easy to find. Please do not put garage sale signs on the utility poles. The City of Torrington is still looking for seasonal help. Some of the positions have been filled, but many jobs are still available. We're looking for workers in nearly all departments, but specifically, we have a head or lead mechanic position open immediately. Applicants can apply on both the city's website or at City Hall for starting jobs immediately. YDOT is continuing to do traffic counts throughout the city. Traffic numbers generated are used for future planning of potential urban systems projects. All of the City of Torrington sports fields begin to have heavy use at this time of the year. Those fields are not to be used as a dog park. We have an excellent dog park for public use. No animals are allowed on the sports fields or at the golf course during non-game events. If you see any suspicious activity at the sports fields or anywhere for that matter, please report it to the police department. There are now cameras in place, and people who are identified as having violated city ordinances will be held accountable. We've been informed by one of the school district's bus drivers that while picking up and delivering kids to school and back to their homes, he sees a dangerous amount of cell phone and texting use. He's seen several near collisions directly due to people's inattention while on their phone. Bus drivers have an elevated view of other drivers and what they're doing. Also, you have the most important duty in the protection of our area youth. The City of Torrington is calling on all of our citizens to refrain from using their phones while driving. Bus drivers certainly can and will report license numbers to the police department. The TPD is aware of the the police department is aware, and the officers have been reminded to be on the lookout for distracted drivers. Last this evening, I want to give a shout out to our Torrington Ambulance Service. In the face of declining support across the state, ambulance services are struggling to keep up. They're faced with a vastly different approach to patients during the pandemic, but held up well and continued to do their job even though the risk level was greatly increased. Torrington Ambulance Director Darren Yates tells us that they've had to expand their services to Yoder, whose ambulance service has been shut down, and to Fort Laramie, whose ambulance is out of commission. There have been no additional Goshen County funding to be supporting this extensive increase in responsibility. We want to express our appreciation for the work they've done and continue to do as they work to protect the health of the citizens of Torrington and Goshen County. All right, Next item of business is the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Councilman Kelly, thank you.
Second?
Councilman Kenny, thank you. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda and a second from Councilman Kelly. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is approve the agenda.
I'd move to approve the agenda.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. A motion and a second to approve the agenda. There are no additions or corrections, so I think we're okay there. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the agenda. I suspected we were supposed to have a public forum tonight.
I think she
Guess
chickened out.
Huh?
I think she chickened out.
I don't think they got a very positive response.
Pun intended.
Okay, anyway, we'll move on to action items. First action item is a catering permit. Jess Milner with the Corner Bar in Lingle requested a catering permit for a wedding reception to be held on June 25th, 2022 from 4 p.m. to midnight at 436 East 22nd Avenue. That's the Lincoln Community Complex Pony Express Room. Our staff references are Chief Johnson, who is not here, but Pat Conley is here, and Sylvia, who is our deputy clerk. Pat, do you have any comments?
No, Chief met with Jess Miller and we're going to plan for that and they got that ironed out, so.
Looks like it's okay. Sylvia, you have anything?
Nope.
Good enough, okay? Council?
I have a question, and I'm not sure who this goes to. It's probably a legal question as much as anything. I think this is the first one I've encountered where the person doesn't hold a Torrington liquor license. Is that an issue or concern, or?
It's not under state statute under our permits, no.
Okay.
It qualifies. Anybody can do it that has a valid license.
That has a valid license in the state? Okay.
Okay, any other questions or concerns?
Good question.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to approve.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
Councilman Kenny, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the catering permit asked for by Corner Bar in Lingle on June 25th. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We have approved the catering permit. Item number 2 under the action items is a proclamation proclaiming May 15th through 21st, 2022 as Emergency Medical Services Week. Attorney Eddington.
Whereas emergency medical services provides a vital public health service, whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, whereas access to quality emergency medical care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, whereas EMS has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventive medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine, whereas the members of emergency medical service teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing medical education to enhance their life-saving skills, whereas citizens and visitors benefit daily from the knowledge and skills of these highly trained individuals, whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Therefore, I, Randy L. Adams, Mayor of the City of Torrington, Wyoming, do hereby proclaim the week of May 15 through 21, 2022 as Emergency Medical Services Week. With the theme, Rising to the Challenge, I encourage the community to observe this week and support your EMS providers.
Yeah, our staff contact tonight, Darren Yates, is not here, but I know we will all appreciate the effort that was made over the last 2.5 years, particularly by our EMS people in the face of high-risk situations, dangerous circumstances, and so on. And they didn't flinch. They continued to provide the service, and obviously we would be in support of Emergency Medical Services Week. Council, do you have any comments or anything?
I would move to approve the proclamation.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Councilman Patterson. We have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We have approved the proclamation. Item number 3 is a resolution 2022-6. Attorney Eddington.
A resolution authorizing submission of 4 Wyoming Homeland Security grant applications for the purchase of essential vehicles and equipment for the city of Torrington.
Thank you. Lynette, would you care to comment?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Our City Emergency Management Coordinator, Chuck Kenyon, would like to apply for 4 grants for the City of Torrington for fiscal year '23. Those grants are Torrington Emergency Management Vehicle for $63,285, Torrington Police Specialized Mission Vehicle for $65,812, Torrington Central Dispatch Radio Project 2 for $22,402, and Torrington Water High Zone Tank Genset and Fence Project for $72,532. We are going to try to submit a match for the specialized mission vehicle of 15%, which amounts to $11,614, in hopes that that would further the acceptance of this grant and basically put some skin in the game to hopefully get this for the police department.
I know that we've applied for some of these grants before, been turned down.
Yes.
Typically, when we apply for Homeland Security grants, this one is $223,000, almost $224,000. If we do get some money, it won't likely be that full amount, so.
Yes, I think that
You have done a great job for us in
Right.
bringing home to grants and money to the county where we can spend it on Homeland Security stuff.
we've always tried, I mean, for the SCADA project, we just put it into, we separated it into 2 phases so we could accomplish that, and we did that, and we'll see that here next for the second phase of that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, council?
If Mr. Connolly maybe could address the police specialized mission vehicle, like what kind of a vehicle are we talking about?
Essentially, we're, talking about a larger capacity SUV. We have a lot of specialized equipment that we have very limited amounts of, so currently it's all housed at the police department. So if we need that in the scene, somebody has to try and break free, go back to the police department, get the equipment, bring it back. But most of that equipment would then be housed in that vehicle, and plus it would also serve in some part as a mobile command unit for larger scenes where we need to set up a centralized command. And that way, if somebody does need the equipment at the scene, we jump in the vehicle, we drive to the scene, and it's there. And it will hopefully make that much quicker, and it'll hopefully have everything we need there.
Okay. And then the last one, the Torrington Water High Zone Tank Genset. I haven't heard anything about that project. What is that?
Basically, it provides a generator for our high zone tank. In case of a power outage, the high zone would be supplied with water then.
How much was that part of the grant?
72.
$72,532. Is there anything else about it?
Includes a fence around it too.
Yes, with fence.
Is there a generator up there already? I don't think so. Is there? Okay.
Anything else, Dennis?
No.
Okay, anybody else?
Good question.
Okay,
I'd move to approve Resolution 2022-6.
thank you, Councilman Kenny. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2022-6 for Homeland Security grant applications. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the resolution.
I have something to say.
Go ahead.
And I would like to also thank Chuck Kenyon for his efforts on getting these grants, because it's the only way we're going to get things that we really need if we don't have the money available. So appreciate the efforts that he's worked in to getting these.
Thanks, Ted. Anything else? All right, let's move along to item number 4, award the bid fiscal year 2022 SCADA Systems Renovation Phase 2. The staff recommends awarding the bid to Timberline Electric and control in the amount of $113,000 with $1,000 in contingency. Mr. Harkins.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Basically, this is just the phase 2 of the project that was begun last year with the SCADA system renovations. This will tie up the remaining 7 locations that were not included in the first phase. Everything, as far as the bid, we only had a single bid, but Timberline Electric was the one that submitted the bid. They were also the one that had the previous contract.
We're very familiar with Timberline.
And they're very familiar with the city of Torrington and its SCADA system.
Okay?
So,
All right. Council, do you have any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move to approve or to award the bid for this.
Councilman Patterson, thank you. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve awarding the bid for the fiscal year 22 SCADA systems renovation. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved item number 4 and awarded the bid. Item number 5 is the approval of the bills from April 20th through May 3rd. Lynette.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Attached to your agenda were a list of bills for your consideration tonight. I also handed out an additional set of bills for your consideration. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
I have a question for Pat. We're on page 2, Pat, near the bottom where it says DARE, tobacco compliance check, $400. That's not just one compliance check, is it?
No. Excuse me. How that works is DARE pays for our, we have a person between the age of 18 and 21 that goes out with an officer to do the compliance checks. That person gets $200. And that was for, I believe, 21 compliance checks.
21.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions, actually. On the first set, they have a bill for Kent Brown and Elisa Colson for professional services. I assume these are court cases, but are their fees preset, or are they just charged by the hour, or how do they do that?
Charged by the hour. They present a bill and the court reviews it and approves it. They bill it $100 an hour, which is very inexpensive. But the defendant, pursuant to one of our ordinances, is ordered to pay that back.
I have a question for you, Mr. Eddington. If a person is working for the court and they also have a client, is that not, I mean, they're not doing the same work, but wouldn't that be a conflict of interest if they were working for us and then had a client outside? You understand what I'm asking, I guess?
Well, it depends on who the client was. They're court-appointed criminal defendants only. They're court-appointed only for jailable offenses.
Okay.
So we're only required under the law to appoint when their liberty's at issue.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
And maybe it's Chief Petch has answered this one. A sign for the Torrington Fire Station for, what kind of a sign are we doing?
That's part of the South Fire Hall rebuild. It's a sign for the South Fire Hall.
But what, I mean, what kind of a,
It says Torrington Fire Station number 2. Across the top.
just those letters up there?
Yeah,
And that was $2,250?
yes, sir.
Everything's cheap.
Apparently. Okay, and one more question. This is on page 3 for Dottie and Sons Concrete, it says concrete cornhole game Pioneer Park 2. Where, is that in Pioneer Park?
That's a grant that Mark Weiss got that's going to be reimbursed. They are cornhole boards, outdoor cornhole boards we're going to put down at the South Fire Hall, behind the building there, behind on the
They
drill.
haven't been put there yet.
No, we just received them.
Yeah, because I went down and looked for them, I didn't see them.
Nope, they're still in the box. You can come and help lift them on there, though. They're about 450
That must be pretty heavy duty.
I mean, I don't know, concrete,
They're a composite material of some sort that,
okay,
They're not susceptible to vandalism.
I wouldn't say that.
not in this day and age.
Everything's susceptible to vandalism.
I think that's awesome, that, because I know they have horseshoe pitching, whatever you call them, courts, pits, sorry,
Pits,
thank you.
yes, sir.
I should have known that. So I think having more things like that, and I know there are also some Frisbee golf.
I wrote a grant
Station.
for Frisbee golf for the rec board, but it was turned in by the Frisbee folks. We're going to put all new tee boxes down there, which is concrete pads, all new signage, all new goals. So we got that. The rec board paid for that. We're going to get that in with some staff from the Parks Department.
I was in Topeka, Kansas over the weekend, and they have, in one of the parks they have a huge Frisbee golf course. And they have pads to launch from. They're concrete pads
We
to
will
launch
too.
from. Yeah, that's awesome. I think this,
We got
Must
really
be a
nice
going
signage,
thing.
really nice signage now, and it'll be a nice course.
yeah, good.
I think we're trying to get the old baskets down to that park by, in South Torrington.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
we're maybe donated
Adam
to.
Walter Memorial
Yeah,
Park
the
or
Adam
something.
Walters. We're trying to get them down there. Nothing's been
That's
finalized.
county, right?
I'm sorry?
That's county, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice of us.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Any other comments or questions on the bills?
If nobody else has any questions, I move to approve the bills as presented.
Councilman Kelly, thank you. We have a motion to approve the bills. Is there a second?
I'll second. Oh,
Councilman Patterson, thank you. A motion and a second to approve the bills. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have approved the bills. Is there anyone here tonight who'd like to publicly comment to the council, ask a question, whatever? Lancer, do you have things you want to bring up? Nothing tonight? Okay. Anyone else?
How's that fire truck? Yeah, taking good care of it and everything, and,
yeah.
what's that? Parked, yeah.
You haven't scratched it, have you?
Yeah, that's good.
If there are comments, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Councilman Patterson, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Steinbach, thank you. We have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have adjourned. Thank you all for coming.